Hello students. So in the previous class, in this chapter, that is sorting material into groups, we had discussed that what is the material and what is an object and why there is a need of this making the group. Okay, why there is a need to classify the objects into the group. Okay, we had discussed that what are the basis of the classification also. So you see student, in this we discussed that why there is a need of a classification. So you see that we need to classify since all the objects, they differ from each other either through that they are of a different shape, or they are of a different sizes, or they are of a different color also. So all these things make a object differ from each other. It means they are having some kind of a similarities. Some of the objects, they are similar to each other, so they are having similarities, as well as they differ from each other in their properties, so they are also having the dissimilarities. So on the basis of the similarities and dissimilarities, we have divided, we have classified, or there is the need of classifying the objects into the different groups. Okay. Now you see that what are the basis, student, on what basis we had classified. So we have classified on the basis of groups. We have divided into different groups, and the first basis, the main basis, the main group on the basis of that we had classified, that is the living and non-living. Means whether the given object, whether the object is a living object or that of a non-living object. This is the main group, we can say, on which we have classified the objects. Then the subgroups, it means the living also classified into two. That is the living beings. It has been classified again on the basis of their characteristic, that is plants and animals. Okay, and the non-living things have also divided into different groups, but this time it will be on the basis of their shape, on the basis of their size, on the basis of their color, on the basis of their properties. All are the factors. Properties, if we talk about the texture or hardness, all these things will come in the properties. So you see student, we had classified the object on the basis that whether it is a living or it is a non-living. In the living, again it is divided. Okay, it is a living, but again it is divided into the plant and animals. And finally the non-living. Non-living has been classified on the basis, on the different bases like that of a shape, size, color and properties. Now, what are the advantages, students? Advantages of that of the this classification. So you see, first of all, it will be very easy for us to locate the thing. Okay, we are able to, if it is in a group. I told you yesterday also, I had given an example that if you are if you are going to a shop, then what will happen in that shop if you want something? If the shopkeeper has classified all the things in a different group, it will be very easy for him to find that particular object, right? If you are going to take a soap bar or you are going to take toothpaste, then he will go to that place where he had kept all the different kind of a toothpaste, and in which he will give you one of the toothpaste to you. So this will be possible if he or she has classified the objects, if he has divided the object into their different groups, and the basis can be anything. So it will help to find the thing very easily, to locate the thing easily. Second, it helps us to understand about the object. What is object, what is the color, what is the size, as well as it will also help to find the properties. What kind of a property it have, that is also very important. So to study about their property, to study about their, to understand their, about it, as well as to locate, to find it easily we used to classify the object into different groups. Now let us discuss the classification, the basis of the classification. So you see, we have classified the object into three. The first one is the classification on the basis of a living or non-living. On the basis of living and non-living. When we talk about the living and the non-living, students, so you see, when you see the object, then at first, I told you yesterday about it also, that when you see an object, at first what you will do, you will try to understand, okay, what is this? You will say that this is a non-living object. Okay. A cat is there, so at first you will see and say that yes, this is a living organism. What is the difference between a cat and a pen? So pen is a non-living object and a cat is a living object. If a human being is there and a chair is there, or sitting on a chair, the person is sitting on a chair, you will say that what is the difference between that person and the chair? You will say that chair is a non-living and the person is a living. So you see, the first classification of the object is on the basis that whether the object is a living object or the object is a non-living object. Okay? So you see, living object. So there are a lot of the object, students, which are the living organism, living objects. Okay, or the living organism. Now, what are the living organism? Living organism shows some properties, and on that properties we will say that these objects belongs to the living or these are the non-living. Okay, now let us write it. So you see, students, that living object, there are certain characteristics of the living organism, and on that basis we will say that whether this object is a living object or it is a non-living object. Okay, so you see, what are the different characteristics of a living object, students? So you see, living organism, they need food. You can write it that they need food. Need food. Then need air to breathe. Okay. Then it shows reproduction. Okay. Then grow and development. Especially if you see the growth, they used to grow. They used to move also by their own without any external agent, students. So you can write it, but we know that the plants, they do not move, they do not locomote. Although they show the movement, they used to move, but they do not show the locomotion. Okay, so they used to grow, they used to move, and they take air to breathe. It means they shows the process of a respiration in which they need energy, all these things. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics which you can see only in that of the living object. So they need food, they need water too, also air to breathe, reproduction, they used to grow, they used to locomote, and or you can say they used to movement by its own. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics of the living organisms, and on that basis you can say that yes, this object is a living object or not. So this is the living object. What about the non-living object? Did they need food, water? Is they used to reproduce, or they used to grow, or they used to respire or move by its own? No. These are the characteristics which is shown only by the living organism. Non-living, they do not show such kind of characteristic. So we will say that the object which show all such kind of a characteristic, they are the living object, and the object which do not show such kind of characteristics, they are the non-living object. Okay. So you see a lot of examples are there of that of the living and that of a non-living. Let us write it. Living and non-living. Living and non-living. If you say about a living student, so child, cat, dog, horse, okay, birds. Birds will include all the different kind of birds, okay, or cow is there, okay. So different kind of animals, even the insects are also there, students. So these are what? These comes in a living organism, as well as the very important, that is plants. Okay. What about the non-living organisms? So non-living organism like toy, plastic, okay, metals, anything, chair, table, pen, all these things. These are what? These are the non-living objects. Okay, and you can classify them. You can say, see, this is what? This is a group of living organisms or a living object, and this one is the group of that of a non-living object. So you had classified them into two groups, that is the living one and that of a non-living, on the basis of their the characteristics. And the characteristic is that they used to grow, they all need food, they all need water, they all need oxygen to breathe, to respire. Okay, they used to release carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. They used to they used to do the reproduction. They used to give birth to the either they lay eggs or they give birth to their new ones or young ones. Okay. So all these things are what? These characteristics make them differ from that of a non-living, because the non-living things, they do not respire, they do not reproduce, they do not move by its own, they do not need food, they do not grow and develop that living things do. So this is the first basis on which we had classified the object. If we see the second one, student, okay, we have divided into living and non-living. Okay, this is the main group, you can say. Main classification of the objects. Now again this living and the non-living is again subdivided into the different groups. Okay, are classified into the group. So first of all we will start with that of the living, and then we will move to that of a non-living. So living again divided into the subgroups. So classification on the basis of the plants and animals. How these plants and animals come, student? Because we know that a living object includes what? It includes the plants as well as it includes the animals. Both of them comes in the living object. Both of them are the living organism, but they differ from each other also. Okay, so we again has classified the living object into two, that is the plants and that of the animals. Okay, so let us discuss both of them. Now if we talk about the plant, students, so plants and animals, again they are classified. Again living organisms has been classified into plants and animals. So you see, students, if we talk about the plants, So basically the characteristic of the plants and animals are almost the same, that they used to respire, animals also used to respire, they also need a food, animal also need a food, but somehow they differ from each other. You see, the shape, the size of the plants and that of the animals is totally different from each other. Then they also differ from that they do not locomote. There is no locomotion occur here. Movement is there. It means the stem and the branches they used to move, but no locomotion occur. It means they do not use to change the place from one place to the another place. Okay, so a lot of things are there, student, like plants are having roots, plants are having leaves, plants are having stems. They used to prepare their own food. So we will use a term for it, that prepare their own food. That is autotrophs. Okay. So they are autotrophs. They used to prepare their own food. So they are autotrophs. What about the animal, students? So animals, they are different from each other, like they are having legs. We can say limbs also. Legs or limbs. They are having a head. Okay. They are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, students, because they need food from other. They do not prepare their own food. And that is why they are the heterotrophs. As well as they locomote. But here, no locomotion. Sorry, students. Plants, they do not locomote. Okay. They move but do not locomote. Okay. Here, locomotion occur. So you can see a lot of a thing is there by which you can say that yes, this is a plant and this is the animal. By looking also you can understand by the shape, student, by the size, by by their appearance. I told you plants are having flower, they are having roots, they are having stem, branches are there, leaves are there, but there is no such kind of a structure present in the animals. Animals are having legs, they are having hand, they are having eye, they are having nose, mouth, they are having some internal organs including the lungs and the heart. Plants, they do not have such kind of a thing. They are having the other tubes which help in taking the water from one place to another or food from one place to another. So you can understand by this that they differ from each other in various aspects. Okay. As well as they do not prepare we do not prepare our own food. Animals, they do not prepare their own food. But plants, they do. Plants, they are autotrophs. They used to prepare their own food. They do not locomote but show movement. We, animals, they used to move also. They used to locomote. So you see there are a lot of different characteristics. So we can say that the living organism is again further classified into two, that is plants and animals. Okay. Now what about the non-living organism, students? So this is about the classification of the living organism. Now if we talk about the non-living organism, so there are a lot of non-living organisms, and these non-living organisms, they differ from each other in a various aspects. Okay. Classification on the basis of the different properties non-living objects. See students. So non-living object, student. So see there are a lot of non-living object. But these non-living objects, they have been classified into different groups on the basis of their shape. How, students? You see some of the objects are there which is rectangle. Some are there which is a spherical, which is circle, which is triangle, which can be a square, okay, or which can be a cube shape, okay, or which can be irregularly shaped. Okay, so you see the first thing is the on the basis of the shape. So you see students, if we talk about the shape, on the basis of the shape, so sorry, if we talk about a ball, balls are of a round shape. So you have been given a ball as well as you have been given a tiffin. Okay, a tiffin or a bricks are there. Okay, so both of them, the shape of both of them is totally different. So ball is there, student, or bricks are there. So bricks, they are triangular in shape or cuboidal in shape, and here it is in circle in shape. So in both of the cases you can understand that they are of a different shape. Okay, so classification can be done, it can be occur on the basis of their shape. Then on the basis of the size. So you see students, there are objects which are small, there are objects which is large. Okay, so the object which is small, we will keep it in the category of a smaller one, and the object which is a bigger one, we will keep it in a bigger group. Okay, so it can be a small object or it can be a big or a large object. Okay, so small object or that of it can be anything, student. A small, if a different balls are given to you and the size you have to classify them each and every into the different groups. What you will do, at first you will see that the ball, the different sizes of the ball, or the one size of the ball will be kept at a place, the other size of the ball kept at another place. Smaller one will be kept together, the larger one will be kept at another place. Okay, so the sizes, it also vary, big or a smaller one. So we can classify the non-living object also on the basis of the size. Then color. Very color is the thing that we can see, the first thing that by which we can recognize the object is the color. You have been given a different different balls only, students, and these all are of a different colors. And now what you have to do, or you have been given a different flowers also, although the flower will come in a living object. So if a different pens are given and these all are of a different color, then what you will do, you will separate them on the basis of their color. Okay, you will keep the red one on one place, you will keep the green color at one place, you will keep the orange one on the other side. So you see, they can differ from each other on the basis of their color. So be of a same color, you will keep it together in a group. The object which will be of another color, you will keep it as in the other group. Okay, so you can divide it on the basis of the different types of colors also. Then students, we will see the hardness. So if suppose you have been given a sponge as well as you have been given a stone, okay, sorry. So by touching it, what you will observe? You will say that what is the difference between the sponge as well as what is the difference between that of a stone. So you will say that the sponge is what? It is the soft one. Or you have been given a cotton toy, a cotton teddy bear you have been given, or a stone is there, students. So absolutely, sorry. So absolutely, the one will be a spongy one, it will be a very soft one, and the other will be a hard one. So you will say that the sponge and the bricks or stone, anything. So sponge is what, student? It is the softer one. So you will say that it is soft and fluffy. So it is the soft, and this one is hard. So you see, we can divide the objects into groups on the basis of their hardness also. Now let me give you one example of that. So you see students, if in a group one thing is given, that is table, chair, then bed, door. Okay. In the other one, nails, utensils, coins and magnet. Then the next one is beaker, test tube, funnel, mirror. Okay, so if all the different examples have been given to you, then how can you differentiate between these three? The first one you see, that is this one, table, chair, bed or door. These all are made up of an object, and that is wood. Okay, so this all group has been classified since these all objects are objects made up of wood. Wood, right? Here the objects made of metal, objects made of metals. Here beaker, because you see student, nails, utensils, coin and magnet, all these things are what? These are the objects which are made up of a metal. Table, chair, bed, they are made up of a wood only. Okay, and the beaker is there, test tube is there. These things are what? These things that we use for in the laboratory, and they all, even you see the mirror also, these all are made up of a glass. Okay, so objects made of glass. So you see student, these are the different objects and by which we have made the different kind of a this is the material, and these are the different kind of objects. So wood is the material by which we have made the table and made the chair, bed and door. Metals, nail, utensils, coin, magnet, and finally with the help of the material glass we had made the beaker, test tube, funnel and that of the mirror also. You see student, if other thing is given instead of that of the metal, if an example is given like toy, ruler, mug is there, or last polythene bag. Polythene bag. So what is the material? What can be the material by which all these objects has been made up of, students? So you know that the object is made up of a plastic. Okay, so we can say it is these are the objects which is made of plastics. Okay, objects which are made up of plastics. So examples, it can be anything, students. If the question is like, let me give you one more, a last one, by which you are able that how can you differentiate? It can be anything, student. You see, a lot of a thing is given, like a basketball, oranges, okay, then globe, sugar is there, apple is there, earthen pot is there. Earthen pot is there. So, if as well as water is there. Now, question is that you have to classify it into two types. Into that whether it is a round one as well as the eatable and non-eatable. So, if we talk that how many of them are of round shape, so you see basketball is of a round shape, oranges is of a round shape, globe is of a round shape, apple and earthen pot is of a round shape. Okay, so this will comes in the round one. Which one is not a round in shape? Then sugar is not in round in shape and water is not in round in shape. Okay. Now, if the question is the eatable and non-eatable, which can be eaten, which cannot be eaten. So, you will say that we can eat oranges, we can eat sugar, we can eat apple, we can take water. This will come in a eatable. Non-eatable, basketball, earthen pot and globe. So you can see student, the classification can be of on any basis. You have to see the material and on that basis you have to respond that whether this belongs to that particular group or not. Okay.